Hi, I'm Phil Constantine, and on this episode of Travels with Phil, we are going to the Eagle Gold Mine in Julian, California. Yes, indeed, a genuine gold mine. Now, when most people think of California and gold, they think of the 1849 gold rush, and that's pretty well true. Now, a lot of folks thought, just big nuggets and all kinds of stuff. Well, gold wasn't really necessarily found that way. Now, most people know that it was in central and northern California, but a lot of people don't really know that there was an 1870s gold rush in San Diego County, not that far from the border with Mexico. And where was that? Well, in the small community of Julian, just a little bit northeast of downtown San Diego. This is a picture of the city, and we're going to be going to the Eagle Mine, which you can see right there. Now, it shut down around 1934, the World War II area, and they pulled a fair amount of gold out of that mountain right there, as you can see here from this view. Now, this is the way gold mines work. There's a lot of these vertical areas where material came up because of the subduction of material underground, and they would look for these vertical areas by going straight into the mountain. Well, in 1870, a former slave, Fred Coleman, was going through Julian, noticed something shiny in a creek, and he said, "Hey, it's gold." Well, the rush started. Now there's 235 abandoned mines in Julian area. Now, this is a picture of the outside of the area of the Eagle Mine. There you can see the street address, and they do offer tours here, which is one of the nice things about it. So you can come in, see all kinds of old stuff out there, how they actually did it. Those are the prices as of the time that I recorded this, and this is the entrance to the mine where I visited. Eagle Mine, 1870 in Julian. Stand inside so I can get a picture of you. How big it is. There's our gold sniffing dog. Yeah, I'm just joking about that. As you can see here, the tunnels were designed to sort of slope downhill, so it made it easier to push the loaded carts out. They wanted to save themselves time and effort, because this was all done by hand back in those days. So our tour guide came in. Now there's 11 levels. We were in 5 and 6, 4,000 feet worth of tunnels out there. And you do have to be careful. They don't want to have to dig any more of a hole than they did, so the things are a little low, so you may have to stoop in a couple of spots as you go through. But what they're looking for is quartz veins that are coming through the regular rock out there, something that looks like that, and if you're lucky, something that looks like this, because that looks like it has a fair amount of gold in there. And they found the star vein. We're looking for veins that are 10 inches or wider, and 1 ounce of gold per ton is good. This one had 10 ounces per ton of ore. So they had to dig out the rock to find the quartz ore, which is where the gold was. And so you had so much of the rock and then so much of the gold ore that you found, and then they ground it up. Now, one of the nice things about there is they left all the tools there, and this was done by hand most of the time. So they made about 2 to 4 feet of progress per day. And this is done by using all of this equipment in here. And if you go on a tour through the mine, you'll be able to see all this. They'll explain how it works. Now, this is what they use to poke holes in the rock. And what they would do is they'd turn it a quarter of a turn. One guy turned it, 2 guys hit it with hammers, and every time they hit it, he would turn it a quarter of a turn so they'd be able to pull it out later. Now, eventually, you can see here, this is spinning around. They got to the hydraulic equipment there, and that made it a lot more easy to do, a lot easier. And then they put fuses in the holes and blow it up with dynamite. Now, they had shafts to get to the different levels. They'd raise people up and down, and then equipment as well. And this Hoist was last used in the 1930s. That's what they used to lift things up and down. There's my granddaughter, Jaslyn, looking at it. And they had a bell that would ring to let them know if something was coming up or down. And it sounded just like that. And there were signals that were used all over California. Now, there's the mine shaft going out. Now, they made about $5 a day or maybe $1.50, depends on who you listen to. But again, 10 tons of rock to get 1 ton of gold ore. Then they pounded it with these enormously heavy weights to turn it into a very, very fine powder. Now, they could do 10 tons of gold ore every 24 hours. And gold came out as tiny flakes. And this is the machine that pounded it and pounded it and pounded it. Now, they also used mercury because the gold would stick to mercury. That's why you see hazardous or toxic areas around gold mines. Now, this is what it looked like as it came out of the sluices. They'd run water over it. And gold is heavier than the other minerals. And if you're lucky, this is what it would look like at the bottom of your pan or the bottom of your sluice or your step mill or your long tom, all kinds of names for that. And this is what gold looks like. Now, Panning for gold? Well, that's sort of cool looking. Well, you can actually do it there. All right, here. Still got it in there? Is it still in there?
Yeah.
Oh, so. Oh. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. Right there. Tiny little flakes. Tiny little flakes. And they provide the gold here. You don't get to keep it if you find it, but that's exactly what it looks like nowadays. Those are the kind. Now, if you're real lucky, it would look something like this. But that kind of gold, except in commercial things, doesn't really happen much. Thanks a lot to the Eagle Mining Company for permission to use some of their photos. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please feel free to make comments below as long as the language is family friendly. And if you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button below. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the circle with my picture in it in the lower right-hand corner of the video. The arrow is pointing at it now. And once you have subscribed, you can be notified of when I have a new video posted by clicking on the bell icon in the description field below the video. Thanks again for watching.